Welcome again. As I mentioned before, this event was created to honor students who have either improved, maintained excellence in academics, attendance, behavior, or overall citizenship. Each year we reach out to our entire faculty and ask them to nominate students who they feel are deserving of such an award. We get a wide variety of great students, and then we have the difficult job of selecting these students based on the criteria. And tonight we're celebrating the accomplishments of these young people and also recognizing the efforts of our faculty. As you'll hear tonight, we are fortunate to have such a caring and supportive community that are determined to make a difference in the lives of our students. They realize that the work they do in the classroom with our students will have a lasting impact. And with that, I'd like to welcome Mr. Rob Hann. He's our president-elect for the Chicago O'Hare Rotary Club. So Rob, if you'd come on up and address the crowd, that'd be fantastic.
Thanks, Frank. Frank's a member of our club and very valuable member and great liaison with the school. Let's give Frank a hand for all his efforts. My name is Robert Hann. I'm a member of the O'Hare Rotary Club. I've been a member since 2001. The O'Hare Rotary Club is a service club. We service the O'Hare, Rosemont, Chiller Park, Franklin Park, East and West Leyden communities. And I would say the club couldn't be more proud of the students and faculty at East Leyden and also West Leyden. Each year we do projects with the school, and every year we are just blown away by the talent that is here at this school. Some of the projects that we do with the schools, we provide over $20,000 in scholarships each year to students of the high schools. And this past week we've been reviewing applicants. We've got 3 different types of scholarships, and for these 3 different types of scholarships we had over 70 applicants. And reading the applications of the students, it is humbling to be reading these applications, knowing what I was doing in high school, and reading the accomplishments of all these young men and women who are really making a difference in the world today. And it is just a true pleasure reading the scholarship applications, and a true joy being able to award the scholarships every year. We also are sponsors of the Interact Club at both schools. Fantastic clubs, great way to get involved. We help out with scouting programs and also a couple youth leadership programs. The club not only does local projects, but we also work on international projects. We have a couple international projects going on right now in Mexico and Bolivia, and we're kind of figuring out how to help out in the Ukraine area. Rotary's open to all. We meet Thursdays at noon at the Great Escape. If anybody wants to check us out, please feel free to stop by. And thank you again for having me, and Glenn Spockman, who's our treasurer. And we're just thrilled to be here, and you guys are just wonderful people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. Before we get started with the presentation of the students, I would like to take a moment and thank a few people who, without their help, none of this would be possible. I'd first like to say thank you to Dr. Nick Poliak, Superintendent, Dr. Tatiana Benuma, Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Brian Mahoney, Assistant Superintendent for Student Services and Special Education, Mr. Brian Weiner, Director of Technology, Dr. Tina Rivera, Director of Human Resources, Ms. Karen Geddes, Director of Communications, Dr. Dominic Manola, East Leyden Principal, Mr. Dennis Byrne, Dean of Students. Mr. Jorge Sanchez, Dean of Students. Ms. Patricia Makashima, West Leyden Principal. Ms. Megan O'Neill, Assistant Principal for Teaching and Learning. Mr. James Powers, Dean of Students. Ms. Amelie Lapro, Dean of Students. Mr. Dennis Byrne, Dean of Students, almost missed you. And our maintenance staff, who always find great ways to get this done. Thank you to everyone for making this happen. And with that, I'd like to welcome Dr. Dominic Manola, East Leyden Principal, to present tonight's Inspirational Eagle Awards to our East Leyden recipients.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to welcome up Mia De Leon and Mr. Bavone.
You guys have to set the example for everyone else.
All right, we'll put you right.
Wherever you tell me.
There you go. All right.
Mia is a theater rock star. It takes a lot of courage to get up in front of your peers and act. While Mia makes it look easy, it was anything but easy for her. Mia's always struggled with anxiety and confidence issues, but a big sister and a role model, she knew she had to do something to get out of her rut. The theater program was her ticket. Mia definitely has a passion for art, but also for history. She's excelled in both areas academically, reaching the AP level. Theater, in particular, allowed Mia to put herself out there. She has played Dahlia in Teatro Leiden's world premiere of Wave, the girl in Blood Wedding, and Gilbert in Powerline. As a freshman, Mia admits that she really didn't comprehend the wide variety of opportunities that Leyden had offered. From learning about food chemistry to attending a theater festival, she's been able to dip her toes into a wide variety of classes, clubs, and field trips. In fact, Mia has served in 11 clubs and logged over 50 volunteer hours. These experiences have helped her find her passion. Mia plans on attending Triton College for Associates in Psychology, where she'll be the first in her family to attend college. While Mia's whole family has been very supportive, Mia's mother, Maria, has been a #1 supporter. She goes on to say how very grateful she is for both of her parents for the sacrifices they've made for her. From picking Mia up after late night rehearsals to having deep and honest conversations, Mia's mom has served as a mother and a best friend. Please help me in congratulating Mia. Mia would now like to recognize Mr. Bavone.
Mr. Bavone has been my theater director for almost all the shows I've done at Leyden. Since freshman year, he's not only helped me grow as an actor, but as a person. From day one, he's always pushed me and challenged me to try new things and to reach my best potential. He's also taught me to never doubt my abilities and to never apologize for my mistakes. You can always tell how much he enjoys theater by how much he constantly shows how much he cares about everyone. He always treats each of his students with respect and is everyone's #1 supporter inside and outside of theater. Thank you, Mr. Bavone.
Thank you for sharing your story, Mia. Congratulations.
All right, I don't even know how to do this. I'm going to try shaking your hand first. Then you get a trophy. Then you get a certificate.
You get a badge. And you get a bag. And you get a bag. And you get a certificate.
Wonderful. Thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome Sierra Gibson and Mr. Danny Byerly. Sierra holds the award for the most faculty and staff nominations. As you know, students are nominated by faculty and staff for this award. While it only takes one nomination to be part of the Inspirational Eagle process, the selection committee does notice when several faculty and staff members come to that same conclusion. In fact, 5 separate nominations were submitted in support of Sierra. There were many comments regarding her positivity as well as her willingness to help others. As you'll hear, her good deeds do not go unnoticed. Sierra grew up in River Grove. She attended River Grove School through 8th grade before attending Leyden. Growing up in a household with a single parent was tough. Sierra recognized her mother's sacrifices and did everything to lift her up. Although her stepfather soon entered the picture, Sierra recommitted herself to helping others. Sierra's older brother, Isaiah, was lovingly nicknamed Gibby by his coaches and teachers while at East Leyden. In Sierra's first days at East Leyden, she struggled to make a name for herself. She even had several teachers refer to her as Gibby. While Sierra loves her brother, she wants to be her own person and blaze her own trail. Sierra has always loved athletics. For the past 11 years, she has played basketball and softball. Her older brother would coach her on the weekends and ensure she was at the top of her game. At Leyden, Sierra continued her athletic career. While mainly focusing on basketball and softball, she's also tried volleyball and gymnastics. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many athletic schedules were disrupted. For Sierra, this disruption nearly destroyed her first season playing varsity softball. More recently, Sierra made varsity in both basketball and softball, achieving the prestigious all-conference recognition in both sports. For those of you who don't know, for this honor, student athletes are chosen as the top athletes by the opposing coaches. Additionally, Sierra has 3 different offers to play basketball and softball at the collegiate level. Sierra could not achieve this success on her own. She credits much of her drive and focus to her older brother, Isaiah, or Gibby. Whether he's pushing her to do her best in the classroom or on the field, he's always been there to support her. Sierra, congratulations. And Sierra would like to recognize Mr. Byerly.
I don't have a long speech, but throughout my 4 years, Mr. B has always been there for me, whether it was just needing someone to talk to, or someone to walk through the halls with, or even loaning me a bat and a pair of cleats to try out my freshman year. So I thank him a lot for that. Thank you, Mr. B.
Sierra, thank you for sharing your story with us. Congratulations. Next, I would like to welcome Xander Kiefer and Dr. Jaber. Xander has had an interesting path to Leyden, both academically and personally. Xander attended Guerin Prep as a freshman. However, with the COVID-19 pandemic in full swing, Xander decided to pivot to online learning sophomore year. Finally, as a junior, Xander attended East Leyden. So far in his high school career, Xander has seen a private school, an online school, and a public school. It's a pretty amazing experience. Similarly, Xander has grown as a person. He tries above all else to be a good person. Xander has struggled mentally. With therapy, Xander saw firsthand the good that psychiatrists can do. Although not perfect, Xander has come a long way and is excited about his future. Additionally, Xander has fought internally to accept his identity and love himself unapologetically. Recently, Xander came out as a transgender person and couldn't be happier. Xander loves poetry. He loves that poetry can have structure or no structure. It has the power to captivate a room, to make others laugh, cry, or reminisce. Xander has presented a poem to a room full of teachers at the IDEA conference about his journey sharing with the world about being transgender and the harsh realities for transgender people. The room of teachers were crying and were also empowered to talk about their own experiences after listening to this young person's unique lived experience. Xander could not get here alone. He credits his late uncle for being a role model. As a psychiatrist for the Navy, he spent a lot of time helping veterans with PTSD. Xander learned to be more selfless and caring towards others because of his empathy. Congratulations, Xander.
Thank you. I wanted to nominate Miss Jaber for helping me along the way on my journey. She guided me down the right path towards activism and helped me show how powerful my words are. She gave me the opportunity to stand in front of a room filled with teachers and members of the school board and read a poem I wrote about the trans experience. I then had 10 minutes to speak from the heart and talk on the dangers queer individuals face when coming out. She helped me feel like I have so much power and opened my eyes to what my calling is in life, to make the world a better place.
Thanks for sharing your story, Xander. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Next, I would like to welcome Valentina Lee and Mr. Jackson. Valentina is an awesome student and an even better person. Being a junior, we have the privilege of having you in our halls for one more year. Valentina was nominated for several reasons, but her ability to overcome shyness so that she could help out others has stood out most. On paper, Valentina's life looks great. She's maintained straight A's while at East Leyden while taking rigorous advanced placement courses. She has great attendance. But when you take a closer look, you'll see why she was selected as an inspirational eagle. Valentina moved a lot when she was younger. She originally grew up in Melrose Park before moving to Arizona, and then to Schiller Park, and Florida before returning to Franklin Park, where she now lives. The frequent moves, on top of Valentina's shyness, made it difficult to create and maintain friendships. In 8th grade, something clicked for Valentina. She was ready to invest not just in her academics, but also in herself. She was ready to break out of her shell. At East Leyden, Valentina learned to take initiative. When she and her classmates were learning remotely, she noticed that her peers too struggled to speak in a virtual classroom. She had empathy for her peers as she struggled to speak while talking in in-person classes. When lessons allowed for smaller breakout rooms, Valentina took the lead and engaged her peers as a student leader. This was a big step for Valentina and took a lot of courage. Valentina discovered that she liked helping others in this way. Valentina really found her calling as a mentor for freshman advisory. Twice a week, she gets to assist her teacher, Ms. Hernandez, in teaching lessons around community building, post-secondary planning, and essential skills. She plans to use these skills in the future in the film industry. Valentina credits her success, especially during her most trying times, to her brother. He has been there to support Valentina in her times of need, and she is very appreciative of his support. Valentina, congratulations. Valentina would like to recognize Mr. Jackson.
Hey his class is one I often look forward to, and it's easy to gauge when I'm not drowsy due to the fact that it's second period. Also, homework is not usually due immediately, which is very helpful when I'm struggling with burnout, lack of motivation, and lack of focus, and regular homework from other classes. Much of my time outside of school hours is spent on academics, and being given more time on even just my math homework is a huge relief. I got to know Mr. Jackson a lot over this school year, and I can say that he's not just a teacher, he's also a friend.
Congratulations, Valentina. Next, I'd like to welcome Gonzalez and once again, Dr. Jaber. Geis is the oldest of 5 siblings. He does not take his duty of being the oldest brother lightly. Rather, he sees himself as a role model for his younger brothers and sisters. Geis has had a fantastic high school career. As you'll see, he takes pride in his academics. He's been able to take rigorous coursework, including 6 college-level AP courses, all while maintaining an impressive 4.2 GPA. He's also been connected to the school community by being involved in clubs like National Honor Society, the Class of 2022, Spanish Club, and Blue Crew. What's really impressive is that Geis has found time to give back to the Leyden community. He has served as an advisory mentor to younger students, he has coached youth basketball, and he has helped tutor students. Geis attributes much of his success to his mother. As a police officer, she has served as a role model for Geis. She's reminded him to take life one step at a time and enjoy the little things. Geis shares that while he works hard for himself, he also does it for her. Congratulations, guys. Geis would like to recognize Dr. Jaber.
So I'd first like to say congratulations to everybody here, but to Ms. Jaber, or Dr. Jaber, your class has taught me so much, and I can't thank you enough for that. I never thought I would write poetry, ever, but her class, opened my eyes to so much, and for that, I thank you. And her curriculum of social justice, me being an activist, that's something I also never thought I'd be or be a part of, but thanks to her, I see myself as a person that can make a difference, and for that, I can't thank you enough.
Congratulations. Next, I'd like to welcome Grace Wordazani and Miss Maldonado. Joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day. Henry Nouwen. This quote speaks volumes about Grace and her perspective on life. In middle school, Grace was not the best test taker. Unfortunately, this became a barrier for her and limited her class choices. That's something that stuck with her and became a worry as she transitioned to high school. At Leyden, Grace was seen as more than a test score. Using multiple measures such as previous grades, teacher recommendations, and of course, those pesky test scores, Grace was able to select from a wide variety of classes. In particular, in a conversation with Miss Wind in the Social Studies department that changed her trajectory, Miss Wind believed that Grace could be successful in AP Government and Politics course. Taking this leap and betting on herself, Grace was opened up to a new world. She learned to challenge herself more than she thought was capable. And while that did come with a moment of freaking out, that courses were going to be too much, Grace always found a way to do what she needed to succeed. Between her advanced placement courses, dual credit, and dual enrollment, Grace will be graduating high school with 21 college credits. What a fantastic example of believing in yourself. Grace credits her parents, and in particular her grandmother, Dorothy Mackey, for her success. While her grandmother never attended college, she supports her academic endeavors. From the small acts of making sandwiches the way only grandma can, to attending her events and providing words of encouragement with the occasional tears of joy, Grace's grandmother has been by her side. Reflecting on her high school journey, Grace says that Leyden makes sure everyone has a plan, a path, and a place to return home at any point. While any school can provide a curriculum, Leyden's reach extends beyond that. Congratulations, Grace. And Grace would like to recognize Ms. Maldonado.
Hi. I've had the pleasure to be Mrs. Maldonado's student for the last 3 years. In those 3 years, I've watched Mrs. Maldonado's smile beam brighter and her positive energy extend beyond any wavelength possible. Even when we were remote last year, Mrs. Maldonado made her class engaging, exciting, worth coming to, and definitely worth rolling out of bed for. There were no days I didn't want to go to virtual school, but I knew Mrs. Maldonado would make my day better. She always made sure to be on me like a second parent. Grace, how have you been in your classes? Grace, how are you feeling today? Grace, what's up? Why are you not so peppy? It was the little things that made my day. These are some of the questions she would and still ask me on a daily basis. Now, graduation may be a separate thing. I may not be graduating, but we'll see what happens. Our occasional after-school talks I always look forward to because of how honest and open she is. I can recall the time I saw her in person this year, and on the very first day, and no, I'm not joking, she runs up to me and screams, "Oh my God, Grace! Oh my God, oh my God!" and hugs me. And I'm pretty sure we weren't supposed to do that, but we did it anyway. Please don't get her in trouble. But I will always remember that. And the one day, first semester, when she was gone, she was trusting me to teach her class. I've built that trust with her, and I will always be grateful she has been there for me and allowed me ample opportunities. The quote, "Joy does not simply happen to us. We have to choose joy and keep choosing it every day," resonates with Mrs. Maldonado. No matter how she was feeling that day, she made sure to put us, her students, first. I plan to be an early childhood education teacher, or ECE, and I hope that I can make as much of a difference as she has in my life. She has made such a contribution, and I hope that in the end, when I do become an ECE teacher, that I will be able to make such an impact on my students as she has for me. Thank you, Mrs. Maldonado.
Thank you so much, Grace. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Manola. Next, I would like to welcome West Leyden Assistant Principal for Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Megan O'Neill, to present tonight's Inspirational Eagle Awards to our West Leyden recipients.
First, I would like to welcome Patrick Godoha and Mr. Rooney. Patrick is a wonderful student in person. Having parents that immigrated from Poland really shaped Patrick's future aspirations. In middle school, Patrick was picked on. He was called annoying, accused of asking too many questions, and talking too much. While that stung at times to hear this from his peers, Patrick learned to persevere, to be himself, and to not be so fixated on others' opinions. West Leyden was a fresh start for Patrick. Typically, students from Hester Junior High attended East Leyden. Due to where Patrick lives, he was one of the few Hester students that attended West Leyden. To be honest, it was a relief. It felt like a new chapter for Patrick. At West, Patrick learned to take advantage of the opportunities available. As an AP student, Patrick was invited to an AP summer camp where students learned about what it was like in college-level classes and also visited several university campuses. He learned to utilize his counselor, Mrs. Gupta, and social worker, Ms. Ratini, for help. With all these supports, Patrick feels like he is ready for life after high school. Patrick plans on earning a law degree and serving as an immigration attorney to help people like his parents. Patrick credits much of his success to his younger sister, Nicole. He knows that everything he does is setting an example for her. Now that Nicole is in middle school, Patrick can help her with her studies and keep her on the right track. Patrick would like to recognize Mr. Rooney.
So, I'd like to introduce Senator Rooney. And to get started, I guess one thing that I just told Mr. Rooney today was what I remembered was over last year when we were all online, I was at a dermatologist appointment. And class you can join on your phone. So I joined it in the doctor's office, and I joined Mr. Rooney's call, and my mom's listening, and she's like, how does this man know all of this? And that's really in summary, so now I'll get into detail. So, I would like to recognize Mr. Rooney, my teacher for AP US History, Economics Honors, and Sociology Honors. I remember as a freshman or so hearing that West Leyden had a teacher who was involved in the government, and it made me curious, yet I'm not fully sure why. I had no idea who this man that was involved in the government was, and I knew nothing about politics, and honestly, I probably still don't understand politics. My junior year, I had the wonderful experience of meeting Mr. Rooney. We got off to a rough start at the beginning of the year. I just couldn't wrap my head around why he made such an effort to be so different as a teacher in the way he taught his class. And within a year of A-Push, it clicked. Everything about his class, like the challenges he puts on the students or the unusual way he presents his lectures, I realized that his unique style as a teacher helped the students remember the material better. I could ramble on and on about the things Mr. Rooney does that I appreciate. For example, I remember sitting there in awe as I watched Mr. Rooney present an entire sociology concept off the top of his head without any notes or reminders. I sat there shocked, thinking to myself, how does he remember all of this, like my mom? In conclusion, Mr. Rooney, I would like to thank you for reminding me not to judge a book by its cover and to take a new perspective on challenges in front of me. And one last thing I'll never forget. I like to have conversations after school with Mr. Rooney, talk about life, and I was talking to him about classes offered at Leyden. And I mentioned how somebody texted me asking if economics was a tough class. And, the class that Mr. Rooney teaches at West Leyden, and I simply asked them, do you go to East or do you go to West? I hope you guys can get that joke. That's it, thank you.
Patrick, thank you for sharing your story. Next, I would like to welcome Alejandro Gonzalez and Mr. Flinchum. While parents and schools do their best to shelter students from the dangers of the world, that's not always possible. That was the case with Alejandro. He has two parents that love him and have always tried to give him the best life. While last year was tough for a lot of people, it was especially tough for Alejandro. Last year, Alejandro's cousin and close friend, Mikey, was shot. A bullet from a gang-related drive-by hit him in the head. While he was fortunate to survive, it took him quite a while to relearn how to walk and how to talk again. When he did regain his speech, one of the first things Mikey reminded Alejandro was to keep working hard, not take anything for granted. Like his cousin, Alejandro wants to become an engineer after high school. He is even taking some pre-engineering courses now, learning how to 3D model and analyze structures. Alejandro has also really enjoyed physics and business accounting. Although Alejandro works at the Jet Bright car wash to help his mom, he has also found time to stay connected to Leyden outside of the classroom. He has participated in Psychology Club and Fit Club. More recently, Alejandro has been focused on his college applications. Alejandro was recently accepted to Elmhurst University, the University of Illinois at Chicago, DePaul University, and St. Xavier University. Although Alejandro has been through a lot, his future has never been brighter. Alejandro could not do it alone. He has always looked up to his mom. She has set an example for Alejandro by always working hard and being a good person. She has taught Alejandro how to persist in the face of adversity. Thank you for sharing your story, Alejandro. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I would like to recognize Mr. Flinchum. You know, from the beginning, he's always been like a really positive impact on my life. You know, when it came down to personal essays and writing my college and everything about that, you know, I was really nervous, but, you know, he was there to help me out and get through that. You know, I feel comfortable talking to him about anything. I enjoy his class, and, you know, he's always there for me and there to support me, and I cannot, like, explain how grateful I am for him, and I appreciate him so much. You know, he's somebody that even after high school, I'll continue to talk to him, and, you know, once again, like, I can't thank him enough how much of a big impact he has been in my life, and, you know, just thank you so much. You know.
Next, I would like to welcome Evelyn Ibarra and Mr. Rooney again. Evelyn grew up in a big family with 5 brothers and sisters. In a big family, you help each other. Evelyn has been a helper since she was a child. She would help babysit younger siblings or help translate for her Spanish-speaking parents when needed. While Evelyn has not been involved in every sport or club that West Leyden has to offer, she has been there for her family. One of the things that she struggled with the most was the ability to stay engaged in the online format. Evelyn says she let herself down. While most students found remote education isolating, Evelyn found it difficult to concentrate. Remember, Evelyn comes from a big family. With her brothers and sisters all in online meetings at one time, it was difficult to find a quiet spot to concentrate. Often the family would overload their internet, causing the whole family to be booted from their meetings at the same time. Luckily, we have been able to return to in-person education, and she has found her peace and quiet. Evelyn is a member of the Service Club. As the name would suggest, the purpose of this club is to volunteer and give back. She has volunteered with Make a Difference Day. She has helped decorate North Lake Public Library and assisted in a local 5K. Evelyn plans on attending Dominican University where she will study criminology. Having an older sister as a sophomore at Concordia College helps inspire Evelyn to stay on track academically and continue to strive for a successful future. Evelyn truly appreciates the help that her older sister has provided. Congratulations, Evelyn. Evelyn would like to recognize Mr. Rooney.
Thank you. So Mr. Rooney has created a great impact in my life. He has helped me since the beginning of my journey at West Leyden. I had my first encounter with Mr. Rooney my freshman year as my global studies teacher. When I first met him, I knew he was different from an ordinary teacher. In general, he is known by students as a rigorous teacher who encourages his students to prevail and forces them to think. Each and every year I've had him, I've left his class with multiple takeaways, whether it be an appreciation for history, arising questions, or the motivation necessary to push myself. In fact, while taking AP US History, I discovered my passion for history and hope to pursue it in my future studies as a minor. Even though it is evident that I struggled during COVID and online school, Mr. Rooney enabled me to continue completing my work and attend meetings as well as seek assistance whenever I could not figure something out. Having him as my teacher ensured I did an exceptional job, especially in his class, since he always inspired students by finding different ways to present his class topics, making them interesting to people. I never realized how helpful a teacher could be until I met Mr. Rooney. I have always heard of students having a great connections with teachers, and I finally understand the meaning behind having a teacher who both aids you and teaches you throughout your high school journey. So thank you once again.
Thank you for sharing your story. Next, I would like to welcome Azul Rios and Mr. Alex Vasquez. Azul's chores growing up looked a little bit different than most students her age. Azul's mother ran a daycare and Azul's father ran a restaurant. Duties included reading books to children, helping teach lessons, and cleaning up after children. As Azul got older, she graduated from daycare chores to restaurant chores. This included washing dishes, sweeping, and setting up for the day. These experiences taught Azul the value of hard work. Azul began her high school career at Proviso Math and Science Academy. While she found the coursework challenging, with her strong work ethic, Azul worked and worked, often staying up until 3 a.m. on school nights to stay on top of the homework and perfect every assignment. She struggled to stay connected to the school and quickly felt burnt out settling in. At the same time, Azul's mother and father were going through a divorce. This allowed Azul the opportunity to move with her mother to Melrose Park and attend West Leyden as a sophomore. This allowed for a fresh start. This new start was also not easy. Due to the pandemic, classes were fully remote. Creating new friendships and connections is very hard through a computer screen. Azul survived and entered junior in person. She had found connections to the school community through teachers and coaches. She had begun playing tennis, taking on academic projects that were both rigorous and filled with student choice and voice. Today, Azul is giving back to the community. As a regular volunteer with the Interfaith Outreach Food Pantry and as a mentor to freshmen as part of Leyden's advisory program. Full circle, she again finds herself teaching lessons to younger students, although this time, not having to clean up after them. Azul credits her success to her older brother, Luis. From helping with her studies to always encouraging Azul to do her best, Luis has been a source of inspiration for Azul. Additionally, her mother has always put her daughter first. Although they butt heads from time to time, her endless love and support have helped her reach her potential. Congratulations, Azul. Azul would like to recognize Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you. Mr. Vasquez is a teacher who I want to recognize because since the start I have looked up to him and appreciated his blunt honesty. He has made me enjoy coming to school and has brightened up my days. When he notices something minor, such as the color of my nails matching my shirt, it has made me feel seen. Mr. Vasquez is a teacher who has motivated me to do better. He is someone who I never want to disappoint. Although chemistry may be a gruesome topic for some to understand, he makes his lessons engaging and fun. He always strives to make sure students in his class understand the concept thoroughly. I also want to appreciate how he learns from his experiences and tries to improve for his future classes. He took the time at the beginning of the year to ask and learn about anything that could possibly affect our learning environment. Another big factor I want to appreciate is the amount of confidence he has provided me with. Because of this, it has made me feel seen and understood. In a class full of sophomores and juniors, I became worried that as a teacher he'd think of me as less intelligent than my peers. But instead, I was met with Mr. Vasquez telling me that I was a go-getter. These words meant everything to me because that same day I was ready to rethink all my dreams. I didn't feel like I was doing enough and became paranoid that just maybe I wasn't smart enough to go into medicine. After a whole day of wallowing in my own pity, these words were enough to allow me to replan and refocus. Every time I am ready to give up and give in, I remember the faith he had in my work ethic and being able to continuously challenge myself, and I just know I have to keep going.
Thank you for sharing your story, Azul. Next, I would like to welcome Alejandro Rodriguez and Dr. Veltman. Alondra is an amazing student with a very bright future. While she makes it look easy, Alondra has had to struggle for everything that she has obtained. Alondra was born into a family where her parents' documentation status has created challenges growing up. These challenges have appeared and affected her life in several ways that many take for granted. From small things like not being able to travel around the country like her peers, to larger challenges like not being able to say goodbye to her grandparents in Mexico before they passed away. Her mother, a cake decorator, and her dad, a construction worker. From her mother, a cake decorator, and her dad, a construction worker, she has seen the way her parents have navigated their life by working hard and accomplishing the seemingly impossible despite their grand disadvantages. However, viewing these difficulties made her build her own foundation of motivation, stating it as, "If they can, why can't I?" As a child, Alondra often felt out of place because of how she felt about her size. This cultivated insecurities about her appearance and even affected what she picked to wear on a daily basis. These insecurities grew with her and expanded into her social life, with the constant pressure to fit in somewhere, somehow, even if it meant changing how she truly identified. As Alondra has matured, she blossomed a newfound love and acceptance of herself in order to not permit social demands to define her identity. She now strives to let herself be known as she is to provide an example to others who still hesitate to be who they are. Many of these pressures don't stop at the topic of society, but rather they further affect her life in the aspect of maintaining a good grade in challenging courses for a mere chance of scholarship and a notable college. Applications, college searches, and extracurriculars can further make high school increasingly overwhelming on a day-to-day basis, so much that it becomes a labyrinth of stress. However, when she needs to come back to earth and center herself, she again thinks of her parents' humble beginnings and selfless sacrifices that they made throughout the entirety of their lives, ultimately remembering that if they can, why can't I? The medical field had always intrigued Alondra, who has carried an innate desire to help others. She tore her ACL playing basketball during the COVID pandemic, which became an eye-opening experience to the recovery process and orthopedics. This experience, coupled with a newfound love for physics and math, thank you, Dr. Veltman, may have changed Alondra's trajectory to study biomedical engineering. Alondra also hopes that in pursuing this career, she could empower other Latina women like herself who are hesitant to enter the often intimidating world of STEM. Alondra would like to recognize both her parents in her journey of hard-fought success. She'd like to thank her mother for teaching her proud independence founded with humility in everything she chooses to do. Her mother has consistently set the example for Alondra of keeping her head up high, even if her mom may only be 5'2". Her father has taught her throughout her life what it means to be strong and not care what the world thinks. Although he may annoy Alondra with his famous motto, straight line, it's to remind her to stay on track of the dreams both him and Alondra's mother weren't allowed to have. Congratulations, Alondra. Alondra would like to recognize Dr. Veltman.
Dr. Veltman put in every effort to help me catch up with this AP physics class after being absent for almost 3 weeks due to my surgery. He has made my introduction to physics an enjoyable experience, so much so that it altered my career path to engineering. I often look forward to his class, even though I might complain to him that I don't want to learn that day, but he doesn't have to know that. I really appreciate that he always ensures that he's available to not only me, but all his students for extra help with no judgment. Truth be told, I am a bit intimidated by the career I want to pursue, as many women are. However, Dr. Veltman's encouragement and support has helped me be more confident and relaxed about entering the branch of STEM in college. He sets an example to other teachers of the importance of being not only a mentor, but a friend to students, which I admire and believe is the best way to enrich a student's being, as he has with mine. I hope other students get the chance to have the fortunate, or maybe unfortunate, honor of having Dr. Veltman.
Thank you for sharing your story, Alondra. Next, I would like to welcome Rodolfo Torres and Mr. Drobny. To say that Rodolfo has consistently been a leader in his classes is an understatement. Throughout his academic career, he has attended classes regularly and engaged with course materials, all while having a 100% attendance rate and earning straight A's, even while engaging with college-level courses. His grades demonstrate both his character and best effort. Rodolfo has progressively worked toward taking challenging coursework each year that he has attended West Leyden. Although born in the United States, Rodolfo was raised in Mexico City. His parents wanted to expose him to the language and culture of Mexico. At the age of 7, Rodolfo returned to Illinois and was placed into bilingual classes to help him communicate and learn English at the same level as his peers. The process of learning a new language and culture was challenging. As one can imagine, it can be both isolating and mentally exhausting to leave what one has known to be their home and relocate somewhere foreign and assimilate an entirely different culture, but Rodolfo persisted. At Leyden, Rodolfo was able to participate in the world premiere of the play Wave, although this achievement did not come easily. This play was originally commissioned 3 years ago, but was sidelined due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Rodolfo auditioned for a spot in the play when it was originally planned 3 years ago and originated the role of Tio. The play became a radio broadcast, and he finally debuted his role in person this fall. For 3 years, Rodolfo persisted until his goals became a reality and developed a sense of individuality and commitment. This has allowed him to showcase his skills as a well-spoken, bilingual, intellectually gifted student and a well-developed actor. After Leyden, Rodolfo plans on becoming a lawyer, taking a class action lawsuit to the Supreme Court that fights for the abolishment of ICE detention facilities. Rodolfo would like to recognize his parents for their love and support. He goes on to say that throughout his life, they have made countless sacrifices, leaving their family and friends behind so that Rodolfo can take advantage of the opportunities that the U.S. offers. Rodolfo always keeps them in mind when making a difficult decision and always shares his accomplishments with them to show them that every sacrifice they have made in their life has been worth it. Rodolfo focuses on presenting himself to show everyone that he is their son, which they have successfully raised to be a kind-hearted and intellectual individual. Congratulations, Rodolfo. Rodolfo would like to recognize Mr. Drobny.
I first met Drobny at auditions for Wave, and he complimented my fluidity when speaking and auditioning in Spanish. Ever since I was in his AP Spanish 5 class, he has always encouraged and supported me to speak my mind and create change within the school. He always lets us speak about real-world problems in this class, even if it affects his lesson plans, because he thinks our voices must be heard, and I admire him and thank him for that. Currently, I'm taking his AP Spanish Lit, and it's my last year taking a Spanish class, as I have then completed and passed all the Spanish courses that Leyden has to offer. And I couldn't think of a better teacher to have for my last Spanish class. He continuously inspires me, and it's because of his passion for the language that I myself have developed a passion and drive for it, one which I will explore further by minoring in Spanish when going into a 4-year college. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodolfo, for sharing your story. Before Mr. Holthouse comes back up to close a little bit, I wanted to shout one thank you to him, because really without him kind of organizing, directing, and helping this event would not happen. And he spent a lot of time thanking a lot of people, so I would like to give a round of applause to thank Mr. Holthouse for all of his help.
Thank you. Tonight we heard stories of struggles, of grit, of growth, and leadership. It's stories like yours, students, that remind us of the power and our duties to educate, enrich, and empower students and communities. I would like to thank all of our speakers this evening for sharing these important stories. For our students, I hope you leave today knowing how proud we are of you. Now, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all the hardworking teachers that have made this possible, and to give a special thank you to Dr. Manola and Mrs. O'Neill, our amazing students, our teachers, and of course our maintenance and advanced catering crew for making tonight happen. So with that, let's give one big round of applause to our Inspirational Eagle winners. All right, awesome. All right, so that's the end officially. Now, unofficially, I would like to get all the students and their teachers kind of over here for a photo. And thank you. Have a great evening.